Hello my dear church boys and welcome back to St. Robert's Daygame podcast, and this podcast episode is for guys who have been learning Daygame for more than 6 months and are not getting consistent decent results yet. I know many Daygamers from all over the world, and I've noticed that the guys who get good pretty fast. I would say within 6 months, and guys who aren't good after 6 months of Daygaming take either very long time to get really good at Daygame, or they never become good Daygamers. So let's talk about why that's the case and what you can do if you've been learning Daygame for more than 6 months and aren't where you want to be yet. If you're new to my podcast, then I am St. Robert, and for the last more or less 4 years I've been coaching Daygame to guys from literally all over the world, from Hong Kong to all over Europe to UK to USA, Latin America, Canada, all over the place. And for the last 2.5-3 years, I've just been traveling around the world, living from city to city, looking for cities with the most beautiful, most interesting girls, and simply a few cities where I would want to live a few months each year. If on my YouTube channel I usually publish my vlogs where I travel around the world, go adventures, coach students, etc., or simply short videos explaining some theory in like a short condensed version, then well, this podcast is for guys who are more serious about Daygame and that want to kind of understand the deeper theory or deeper aspects of Daygame, not just the theory. Kind of guys who really want to take a deeper dive. And as always, guys, I have to remind you that this is a podcast, this is an audio experience. So if you are driving a car, walking around a city, or doing something around your house, don't worry about the video part. I'm only doing this in front of a camera because some people like that, but there is no added value from the video part of this podcast whatsoever. A few updates about what's been going on, where I am. Well, I'm still in Riga, Latvia, which is one of my favorite cities in Europe. I'm originally from here. If you haven't been here, then I've posted several vlogs about Riga, and you can kind of get the feel of what Riga is like as a city. But by the way, it has changed a lot since I've been traveling around the world for these 2.5-3 years. We have a lot more foreigners here, a lot more exchange students, not exchange, but foreign students. So the Daygame scene has changed a lot because of that. We have a lot more Swedes and people from Norway and Finland, etc. So it's definitely very different. It's very interesting. I coached a few students here. I posted vlogs about that if you want to see that. What's in the plans? In the plans, I have 2 coaching spots available here in June. Until June 21st, I'm busy. I'm free until June 21st, and then I'm busy for like a week. July, I have 1 coaching spot available in Stockholm, Sweden. If you are from a place in Western Europe that's more kind of where feminism is more has more influence on the dating culture, and you don't know how to adapt to that, then Sweden is the right place to go learn Daygame, because dating there is very different, just because of how important gender equality is there, because that's a thing that's very different in different countries. For example, you take some parts in Latin America, it's very much like Sweden. Other parts are very much like Eastern Europe. You take places like Ukraine, where it's very polarized, or Serbia as well. And then, so if you're from Germany or a place like that, then that's a great spot. August, I have 1 coaching spot available, end of August, and I don't know yet what I'm doing in September. I'm looking at a few interesting places. I'm looking at Georgia, I'm looking at Lebanon, and I have a few more ideas of places I could check out in September. I don't know, but if you are interested in getting some coaching with me this summer, then well, there's a link in the description where you can read more about how the coaching usually happens, etc. Fill the form at the bottom of the page, and I'll get back to you in maximum 1 day with all the information, cities, dates, prices, etc. Okay, that's it for the intro. Let's start talking about what to do if you aren't decent yet at Daygame after 6 months. We will talk about 11 points, and first 2 of them are going to be a bit more harsh, a bit more in your face. I apologize for that, but like, if you are failing in these 2 points, you have to understand that you're really fucking up, and unless you fix these things, the rest don't really matter. And I would say for the most part, these points are in the order of importance. So number 1 being the most important, and then number 11 being the least important. And when I was going to the location where I'm recording my podcasts, I forgot my laptop with all of my notes. So all of my notes are on my phone. So I'll have to read them from there instead of my laptop. But I think it will be fine. Anyways, so point number one, or the mistake number one, and this is the most important mistake if you are day gaming for more than 6 months and aren't decent yet. Mistake number one, you think you know what you're doing. So you have an idea about how Daygame works and what you should do to learn it, what material you should follow, how often you should go out, and what exactly you should say. Should you use this type of opener, that type of opener? Should you use this model or this structure or whatever? Should you use natural game or London Daygame model or whatever? So you have an idea of how things work. Well, let's be very honest. When you have an idea, it's very good, but it's a hypothesis. You are hypothesizing that this is how I should approach Daygame. And whenever you have a hypothesis, an idea how things work, you have to test it. And maybe you're wrong, maybe you're right. We don't know that yet. So what you do is you try your approach. You do the approaches that you think are the best. You learn from the coaches that you think are the right coaches, and etc., etc. So you follow your ideas, and you have to decide how long are you going to do that, and when is the deadline when you will say, well, I had my hypothesis, I tried it, it hasn't worked so far, so I have failed, I was wrong, I have to think of a new hypothesis, I have to find a new way to approach Daygame. And in Daygame, this time of reference can be, I would say, 6 months. I think 6 months is there, like, because I've said, as I've said before, guys are either pretty good after 6 months or they almost never get good because they just keep doing whatever they've been doing and they keep sucking. So you have your hypothesis, you've tested it for 6 months, and it has proven to not work. So clearly, the first thing you have to understand, you are wrong. And you've proven yourself to be wrong. So now what you have to do, you have to start thinking, okay, why am I wrong? What can I do to find a way, an approach to Daygame that will actually get me something? So that's mistake number one, thinking that you know something, thinking that you are right, even though you have had that approach for 6 months and you failed over 6 months. Okay, let's go to the second mistake. Mistake number two, you're following the wrong material. And if you've been following my podcast or my videos for a while, then you know that I keep repeating myself and saying you have to, like, if you haven't gotten good in 6 months, something's wrong, or that you have to follow the right material. And how did I come to this conclusion that guys follow the wrong material? Well, I travel on Daygame all over the world. I've coached guys from literally all over the world, many guys, not 100, but probably not too far from 100 guys. And whenever I meet someone, every Daygamer is a big fan of some coach, of some YouTuber, or not. They said, oh, well, this guy on his YouTube channel said this, or this guy said that, and I read this in a book, and everyone is, so part one, everyone is a fan of someone. Part two, I look at their results in Daygame. So if they are a fan of Coach A, if everyone I meet who's a fan of Coach A sucks, like the results are complete crap, then I know, okay, whatever Coach A is preaching is complete bullshit, because I've met 20 guys who like him, who are their biggest fans, and they are getting shit results. So that proves that this coach is terrible. And in the same way, I will meet some guys who are, let's say I meet 20 guys who are big fans of, I mean, let's take my favorite Daygame author of all times, almost of all times, not of all times, but Tom Torero, yeah? I meet 20 guys who are fans of Tom Torero. Of course, not all of them are good, like a bunch of them are bad, but most of the guys who I have met who are good, decent Daygamers, getting results, their number one authority, the books they've read, the videos they watched, has been Tom Torero. And I'm mostly talking about his book Street Hustle, because that book is just like a Bible of Daygame. So whoever you're a fan of, make sure you double check, like, what's actually happening with people that are learning from him. And there are a lot of guys on YouTube making flashy, interesting videos where you see them like coaching people and going on adventures and having crazy parties and giving a lot of day game theory and talking to chicks and whatever, yeah? But the question is, are those students that they're showing, is that the average student that they're showing, or is it a student that did really good? So if someone is showing a testimonial of coaching someone and that guy getting really good results, does it mean that most people they coach are getting results like that? Or is it a selected, curated experience that they're showing to you? Is it like, you have to kind of do your homework before you follow anyone. Are the guys who follow that coach, that YouTuber or whatever, are they actually getting results? Or are they just talking about day game a lot? That's why when I'm showing someone that I'm coaching, when I start filming the vlog, I don't know how the vlog is gonna end. And you've seen probably videos on my YouTube channel where I'm showing a student go through hardcore struggle and maybe not even overcome fully AA and still have AA by the time we finish coaching. I'm always trying to show what the real experiences of a student are. And if you're talking about the students I've coached, half of the students I have coached, more or less half, get laid already during the coaching days, and almost all the guys I have coached have gotten laid from day game, period. There are some very rare exceptions, guys who came to meet me and learn day game because they just wanted to have fun, and I meet someone they watch on YouTube and it was all a joke and they didn't take it too seriously and day game wasn't an important part in their life, so they just didn't keep day gaming. But I would say a minimum of 90% of the guys I have coached have gotten laid from day game. So, but if you don't like me, find someone else, that is okay too. But what I would say, what is also very, very important, let me check if this is this point or did I put it as a next point. Okay, no, find someone you like and don't mix different approaches to day game. So if you decide to do your research and you find out that, okay, London day game model works, it has proven to be extremely effective. And by the way, London day game model doesn't mean it's copy paste and you repeat the same shit every time, but we're going to talk about that later. If you are following London day game model, great. So you will follow someone who teaches London day game model, or me or someone else. If you decide that you're gonna follow a different approach, then follow that approach. Don't mix different approaches, because each type of learning day game is a separate system. If there is a system, most of it is actually like people don't even have system. They just kind of push you in sets, but there's no system of how to actually get someone to get results. But there is like a whole approach, and everything is interconnected in that approach, so it works. So you can't take something from one coach and then something from another one and then try to mix it, because there are reasons that, like, it will not work because those approaches are different and they don't always click. One thing I have to say about the natural game, you know that I'm not a fan of natural game at all. Natural game is the goal to get to the level where you can just drop all the oh, when I think about that, I think about three things and all of that stuff. Yes, that's the goal, but that is not the way you learn. That is the goal, the end result you want to achieve. But if you start from there, then, well, you're not gonna get there. And if you look at natural game videos, you again will see great testimonials and get great experiences, but most students that learn natural game, like, they simply don't get the results. The secret of natural game is, let's say you are a decent looking guy with a decent lifestyle, or at least pretty good social skills. Yeah, if you're not that good looking but you already have great social skills, then yes, natural game might be all you need. And if you take 100 students and 5 of them are decent looking and have good social skills, they need just small improvements in their game and they're gonna be getting results. And it doesn't matter if you took those guys and gave them London day game model or some natural game stuff or any other approach. these guys would get results. So that's why you can see great success stories from Natural Game, because like what they're showing you is these success stories. They're not showing you most of the other students who got nowhere and they said, yeah, it was great, I meditated and I had to fix my inner game things and whatnot. Yeah, but then like they still didn't learn Daygame, and they still didn't learn to talk to chicks. So just be really, really careful when you find who you are going to follow when it comes to like a coach or a YouTuber or whoever. Okay, and now, well, enough about this. Let's get to the next topic. Mistake number 3, you look like shit. So let's talk about fixing your looks, your style, your grooming, and your fitness. And I said these points, these mistakes are going in the order of importance. So if in the beginning you understand, okay, I'm probably wrong, number 2, I'm probably following the wrong material. And then before we talk about next point will be volume, doing enough sets, I decided to first talk about looks, because looks are a really, really easy thing to fix. You can completely change the way you look within two weeks, unless you are very, very overweight. So and there are 3 different things. There is the style, there's the grooming, and there's the fitness. We're not gonna talk about fitness. I'm gonna mention it a little bit later because it takes a long time to improve. And unless you are really, really overweight, it is not that important. So I've done a video with the stylist who is an ex from many years ago, and she's an amazing stylist, and she actually changed the way I look, and she worked with many guys I've coached. I did a video a long time ago. It will be at the top of the screen, I think, in this corner. I'll link it there. You can watch it, but we're actually doing a new video series with her about style for guys in their 20s, in their 30s, 40s, and then 50 plus. So that's coming out soon on my YouTube channel. If you don't want to miss it, make sure you are on the mailing list, or at least subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is gonna be there for sure as soon as we finish it. If you like what you see, if you like how she works with people, then she has worked with many guys I've coached. I would say maybe like half of them, or maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. And she works really good remotely via like a WhatsApp calls. She takes a look at the guy, like see how he dresses right now, see how he's like built and what his lifestyle is like, and helps him like figure out what he should wear remotely, and then helps him with finding the right stuff, etc., etc. So she's a fucking magician. If you don't want to do all of this stuff on your own after you watch the videos, then you can just hire her. The pricing is extremely democratic. You know, she's from Latvia, so this is actually her apartment, by the way. I'm filming my podcast. I'm filming my podcast in her apartment all the time. So fix your style. If you're talking about grooming, so if you're losing hair, then just fucking shave it. Like as what was the guy who wrote the game? Neil Strauss said, you cannot go bald, but you can be bald. So if you are losing hair here, like I was, or like, you know, like this thing, or here, like just shave all of it off, or go to like Turkey or something, get hair implants, but do something about it. You can't, like, that's an easy thing to fix. Beards are easy things to fix. Grooming, or like it's super easy. So you can do that before you start daygaming, or when you start daygaming. It's gonna take you a week or 2, like just to change everything completely. But get professional help to do that. It's just you don't know what you're doing most likely. If your style is bad on grooming, you maybe don't know the mistakes you are making. Okay, and when it comes to fitness, if changing your style and grooming takes a week or 2, then improving the way kind of like your fitness could take years. So do not postpone Daygame just because you are whatever, like too fat or too skinny or whatever. Like, it's not as important as you think, unless you are really overweight. In that case, well, you will have to probably take some extreme measures. Read Tim Ferriss' 4-Hour Body. That shit works. But don't postpone learning Daygame just because you're like 10 kilos overweight or whatever, anything like that. Okay, enough about fitness and looks. Let's start actually talking about day game. Let's go to mistake number 4, not doing enough sets. Volume. It's just 2 things you have to understand about volume. Let's assume you are a good beginner meaning when you open 100 girls, you will get laid with one of them. So your open to lay ratio is 100 to 1. And let's say you aren't doing a lot of sets. You're maybe doing like one short day game session a week, or you're doing like one set here, one set there, and you end up doing like 5 sets a week. Well, if your open to lay ratio is 100 to 1 and you're doing 5 sets a week, then on average you will have to day game for 20 weeks to get 1 lay, because 5 sets a week, 100 sets, you have to do 100 sets, you're doing 5 a week, so divide 100 by 5, boom, you get 20 weeks. And then guys are day gaming and doing something for like a month or whatever, and they're saying, I'm not getting results, I'm not getting laid. And it's like, well, how many sets did you do? Oh, but I've been day gaming for a month, I did like 20 sets in a month. Well, you've been a lazy fuck. You haven't been day gaming, you've been super lazy, you're not doing sets. So just statistically, you're not gonna get the results you want, because it will take you 20 weeks to get 1 lay if you're doing 5 sets a week. Let's say you are doing 25 sets a week. You are going out regularly, you've learned to overcome AA, and then you're doing a few sessions a week, let's say 3 sessions a week, and the total is 25 sets a week. Even though you're still at 1 lay out of 100 approaches, you will get those 100 approaches in within a month. So on average, if you day game for a month, you should be getting laid. That's point number 1. Point number 2, when you don't go out regularly, the AA comes back and the skill goes away. So whatever you learn during whatever lessons you learn, let's say you're doing like 1 session a week, like on a Saturday you go out, you do 5 sets, and you realize, oh, I was talking super fast, and then your next session is next Saturday. Well, you will be talking super fast again, because again you didn't integrate it, your AA is back, you're still scared, you're going to be making the same mistakes. So the more you go out, the more consistent the learning curve is. Whereas if you just go out and then you take time off and just it all goes away, and then you go out and you do something and again it all goes away. So you're staying at the same level, you're not improving. If you want to improve your day game, you have to do volume, you have to do 25 sets a week, more or less. Okay, not everyone does that. Some do twice as much, some do like 20. That's both of those options are completely fine. It will just take you a lot more time. And if you do have AA, then, well, I do have a very simple program to help guys overcome AA. It's called The New Daygamer. If you go to my website, strobert.blog, at the top menu, when you click Learn Daygame, I think the link is called The New Daygamer or something like that. And there are several options to the program, and yes, you can simply get 8 weeks of tasks in your email. Kind of week 1, do this, week 2, do this, and it slowly gives you, kind of like stepping stones or whatever you call them, to get from 0 sets to 25 sets in a week. Or another option that the New Daygamer has is simply doing weekly 30-minute long coaching calls, where in each call we will talk about what you did the last week. I will give you tasks on week 1, and on week 2 we'll talk about how you did with those tasks, and I will give you specific tailored tasks for you instead of just following the general tasks that everyone else is doing in the course. So, I mean, if you are struggling with AA, then that is a great option. It will take you literally 30 minutes a week to get personalized tasks to help you overcome AA. And, well, if you are doing the volume, if you are doing 25 sets a week, then let's talk about point or mistake number 4. Fix the copy-paste part of your set. The day game sets start with a copy-paste part. So you have your stop, you have your pre-opener, you have your opener, and you have your stacking. And you can use the same line every time. And the big mistake some of the guys that are doing the volume are making is they are trying to improvise when it comes to the opener. They're trying to like look at what exactly is happening in this situation and trying to come up with different stacks for each girl. That is very good when we come to you being already a pretty advanced day gamer. Then you're dropping all of that stuff. Like let's say you're at 1 out of 60, 1 lay out of 60 opens. That is great. You have to do that. That's how you become better and better. But for the beginners, if you're starting out, you want to do a copy-paste stuff. You want to use the same stop, the same pre-opener. You want to use the copy-paste opener and a copy-paste stack. One stack for all sets. Sometimes when I coach someone, they'll do like 30 fucking sets with the same stack, and then it works. So if you fixed your volume, then learn to fix your copy-paste part of the set. I've done a whole 5-part video series, so if you go on my YouTube channel and you look at the structured natural approach playlist, then the first 5 videos of that video series is exactly about that. Is how to fix the stop, pre-opener, opener, and stacking. Fix that before you try to fix other mistakes. Mistake number 6, you have to improve your storytelling. So once you fix your copy-paste parts of the set, once the girls are stopping and they're not just saying, oh, I gotta go, I'm late for blah, 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 I have a boyfriend, all of those excuses that sometimes are not true, they just don't like you. But when you fix the copy-paste part of the set, they're more likely to stay and talk to you. And what you want to do, what you want to get when you stack, you want to get a topic to talk about. You stack to make it easy for her to respond with something that you can work with. You'll say, oh, you look so chilled out, I thought you are coming from a yoga session, or you're high, and she's gonna say, oh no, I'm just coming from work, I'm an accountant, yeah? And boom, now you have a topic of accountants. Now comes the improvisational part. Once you have that copy-paste shit figured out, now you learn to storytell. And I've done a few videos on storytelling, like on stuff like, oh, when I think about accountants, I think about 3 things, A, B, and C. But actually in that video where I talk about that, and it's again the same video series, the structured natural approach video series. Like it's called advanced, it's the first storytelling technique you have to learn. And there is the simple version and there's the advanced version where you actually, instead of just listing 3 things you think about, you are coming up with 3 interesting stories, and that stuff just works wonders. Or you can say something like, oh yeah, actually I have a few friends who are accountants, or oh, actually because of what I do, I used to work with many accountants, and I noticed that you guys are da 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 da. So the way you improve your storytelling is not in the set. It's super hard to work on storytelling in a set. You fix it after the set. So she leaves after the set and you think, okay, what was the topic? Okay, she was an accountant. What's a story I can tell next time I meet an accountant? And after each set, you simply remember, what was this topic? What's the story I can tell the next time I meet someone who gives me the same topic? Easy as that. Let's go to the next mistake. Tip number 7, record your sets. So again, remember, first fix all these things before, previous things, and only then fix this one. But once you are at a level where you are thinking about, okay, what's the story I could have told, what can I do better next time, you can start recording your day game sets. And when you are recording your day game sets, by the way, all you need is like, you need your phone and your headphones or even AirPods. Like all of that is good enough for recording sets. Just don't be stupid, don't pull out the phone and like, so that, like if she sees the screen and she sees you're recording, then well, you really fucked up. It has never ever happened to me, and I hear so many stories where it has happened to guys. So just be careful about shit like that. When you're recording your sets, the important part is don't listen back to your sets when you get back home. Because let's say you recorded 10 sets and then you go home and then you listen to them and you find 7 fucking things you need to improve, and then you go out the next time, you will forget those things, because it usually takes around 5 day game sets to warm up. So you go out again, you warm up for 5 sets, and then it starts flowing, and only then you will start fixing some of those mistakes. Instead, what you want to do, listen back to those sets right after you do a set. So you do the first set, you record it, and as soon as you finish it, you listen back to it, you think, okay, how was my voice? How was my pre-opener, opener? How was my stack? What was this topic? What's the story I could have told? Okay, what happened next? What should I have done if I followed the structured natural approach sequence? Okay, what's the next thing I could have done in this set? And you listen back to every set you do, and you will be learning very, very fast. Of course, you don't have to record all of your sets in every session, but if you're doing like 3-4 sessions a week, you can record one or two, like in one or two of those sessions you can record and listen back to the sets. So there's nothing, I think that's enough. Okay, let's go to the next mistake. Mistake number 8, you're presenting yourself, you're showing yourself in a boring light. Most guys are already interesting. Most guys I've worked with are pretty interesting. Whatever you do, there is probably an interesting way to answer to a question of what do you do? So you don't need fake stories about like a bracelet that you bought on a beach in Colombia, and it's like how you don't need any of that shit. So you simply need to do 2 things. Number 1, you need to come up with interesting answers to questions. What do you do? Where are you from? Why are you here? Why are your hobbies? For example, what are my hobbies? Oh, I like to roll on the floor with sweaty men and we try to choke each other and break each other's arms. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Where are you from? Oh, I'm from this tiny, tiny place you've never heard about. Everyone has chickens at home. It's called Latvia. You don't even know where it is, don't worry. And simple, interesting answers like that. You don't have to do something crazy, magical. And then you try those answers, you see how she reacts. She reacts good, great, keep using them. You tried it, let's say 5 times, no one reacted, no one liked it. Like, okay, come up with a different answer. So that's one thing you have to do. The second one is, you can open a note in your Notes app or Evernote or whatever you use and write down the alphabet in the vertically. So like A, B, C, D. And on each of these letters, you come up with a story. You remember a story about your life. For example, A, Argentina. Last winter I spent 3 months in Argentina, and like, I mean, the fact alone is pretty amazing if you're from Europe or even from the US. B, Berlin. When I was 19, I used to live in Berlin, but you know, Berlin is the craziest party city, one of the craziest party cities in Europe, but I lived in a small town nearby, and it was like super boring and didn't do anything interesting. It was like really geeky. Etc., etc. And you do the same for each letter, and it's quite easy to come up with those stories. They don't have to be crazy interesting or traveling or whatever. And when you're going through the alphabet, if you don't have anything for, like, let's say you do Argentina, Berlin, it's like C, fuck, I can't come up with anything. I don't have anything for C, whatever. Let's go to the next one. I don't know, D, like, okay, do you have a story on the letter D? And it's fine if it's fine if you don't. Just like, write as many stories as you can for the letters where it comes natural, and you can fill the rest in later. And boom, you can use these stories in your sets when you're talking about traveling or some adventures or some shit you've done, or especially you can use this on dates. Mistake number 9, you are not leading. If there is one thing that girls really don't like about men, is that's indecisive men who can't make up their mind, men who can't lead. For example, texting a girl, hey, would you want to go out, or what would you want to do, where would you want to go? Oh wait, what day is better for you? Oh, like what time is better for you? Where should we meet? And oh, which restaurant do you want to go to? Which bar do you want to go to? No, you say, hey, let's go out for drinks on Wednesday or Friday. Which one's better for you? Okay, she says, boom. You say, okay, let's meet at this location at this time, and boom, like, boom, she shows up, and you're just going. She's asking, where are you going? It's like, oh, we're going to this bar, and you're leading, you're taking action. On the date, you are escalating, you're pulling her home, and there's a lot of stuff like that. There are many, many technical ways you can learn to lead more, and you can simply go to daygamecourses.com, sign up there, and I have the dating basics course there and texting basics course, 2 free courses that are there, where you will learn about a bunch of ways you can lead when you are on a date, and that is very, very important. Mistake number 10, trying to do everything on your own. If you learn the day game the right way, you're following the right material, going out enough, you're fixing the mistakes, and you have the natural ability to figure it out on your own, because you need a bit of that as well. And then yes, in 6 months you should be decent, but let's look at what 6 months of dedicated day gaming looks like. Let's say you're going out 3 times a week, 2-hour sessions. That is 6 months, that is 25 weeks more or less. So you're doing 25 weeks, 3 sessions a week, 2 hours each session. That is 150 hours of being out on the streets day gaming, but you're watching some videos, you're reading books, listening to podcasts. Let's add another 100 hours. That leaves at 250 hours for learning day game. And if you've been doing this for 6 months and still aren't good, then well, you wasted 250 hours. If you want to learn this faster, you can simply work with a coach and get the same understanding of day game that you would have after 6 months in 3 or 5 days at least. That's what I usually do. I coach either guys for either 3 or 5 days. So that's simply a faster way for guys that don't wanna waste time, or if you have been doing the right things for 6 months or more and still aren't there, then maybe unfortunately that's kind of what you will have to do sooner or later. If you've been doing the right things for 6 months and aren't there yet, that's if you've been doing the right things and aren't there yet, most likely you will, unfortunately, it's really sad to say that, but you'll most likely never make it in day game on your own. So I'm just being super direct here. So that's mistake number 10. Trying to fix everything on your own when you realize that you are doing the right things, but you're not seeing the mistakes you're making. You don't really know what exactly you should focus on because you're maybe making 10 mistakes and you don't know which one's the most important. So in that case, you can simply get help, get a fucking coaching call, get a mentorship, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. Do something. And the last point, the point number 11 that I want to make, you have to understand that some people learn day game. For some people, learning day game is much harder than for the others. Yes, there are some people that understand what they have to work on, they understand the mistakes they're making, they understand what exactly they have to focus on, they can be dedicated enough to go out enough, and in 6 months they're decent day gamers, and I've met guys like that. But then again, there are guys who just can't seem to understand what's wrong. Maybe they can't fix their voice on their own, their posture. They just don't notice these things, and they think, oh, I'm saying the right things. Why isn't it working? Well, because probably you're doing something wrong, and you don't even know what that thing is. So yes, maybe you are in the first group of guys for whom just they game clicks and they learn it pretty fast. But maybe, unfortunately, you are in the other group, and learning day game for you will be much harder, and that's fine. I mean, you just have to accept that might be the harsh reality, because you've seen the videos of guys like learning day game super fast and becoming great day gamers. But that's why I show these students who are having crazy AA, and if by the end of coaching, some of them are decent day gamers, some of them have gotten laid quite a bit, and others still have crazy AA, but still they're getting laid. I posted a video about the guy that I coach in Bogota, and yes, he had crazy AA when we started. Even at the end of the video, I said, I'm not really sure whether this guy will make it in day game. It was like a 50-50 type of thing. But this guy, turns out, sent me a message. He was going out, he was day gaming, he got a few lays. So when I always try to show these experiences, both the good ones and the ones where guys keep struggling, because then you get more realistic view of what day game is really like. And if you want to learn day game faster and you want me to help you with that, there are 2 options you can do. The number 1 thing is you can, of course, get infield coaching. And I told you in the beginning of a video, I have 2 more coaching spots in June, 1 in July in Sweden and 1 in August. And I'm going on some crazy adventure in September. I don't know where yet, but I'll take a few students with me there, so you can do that. And all information about that is in the link in the description. Or the second option is if you prefer to learn slower, again, step by step, you can get a mentorship. And mentorship is when we do 12 coaching calls over 6 months. It means we do 1 coaching call every 2 weeks. So we do a coaching call. Number one, you go out for 2 weeks. I'll give you specific tasks to do. You'll go out. We'll do another coaching call. You will send me some recorded sets where you've been out, you've talked to girls. I will hear what you're doing wrong. I'll tell you, okay, you're making in all of the sets. Yes, there are different mistakes, but this one is the most important. So for the next 2 weeks, when you're going out doing your 25 sets a week, focus on this one or these two things. And then again, next call, and we repeat the same thing. And slowly, we will work through different mistakes you're making while you are progressing through Daygame over 6 months. Information about that should also be on my website. If you click on Learn Daygame, and under that, there should be a mentorship. And if it isn't, then just send me an email to robert@strobert.blog. This is robert@strobert.blog. And I'll send you all the information about mentorship as well. Well, guys, a reminder that these points from 1 to 11 were in the order of importance. So fix the first one, then the second one, then the third one. Don't start with recording your sets or something else. Yeah, fix them in the order. That's it for this podcast. If you like this, then you know the drill. Give this a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a review on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you're listening to this. And I will see you in the next podcast episode. Ciao.